Do you remember back when you were a kid and how big and crazy your imagination was? I remember when I was young building forts in my living room out of a couple of chairs and a blanket and maybe a pillow or two, and it seemed like a castle. Or going out in the yard with my buddies and we were playing war and we had guns and all kinds of ammunition, and it was just dirt lumps and a couple of sticks. And the point with that is that it seemed like we had everything in the world at that point, but we really didn't have a lot. And that's what this video is about today: doing more with less and applying it right across the board to relationships, career, finances, health and fitness, absolutely everything. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick around because this video is for you. My name's Kerry. Welcome to my YouTube channel where we talk about all things mindset, motivation, and manifesting, and how to apply those to your life in every single area to level up, becoming the best version of you, joining me along my mission to improve every single day as well. Little quick note that you watching this video today is a sign that all of that hard work that you've been putting in is about to pay off. The things that you think no one's noticing, no one's seeing, it's about to get noticed big time. So keep at it. Well done. So getting back to it. So doing more with less, right? This isn't about minimalization and moving out into the forest and living off the land for the rest of your life. I mean, it's about getting back to the focus of where we really need to be. And it seems like in a society where we're put on this earth to love people and use things, that it's shifted where people are getting used and things are being loved. And so this is a little refocus of getting back in. And I mean, and when we look at it, I remember back, and there were times in my life when it seemed like I didn't have a lot. And what I had to do and what I had to do in those times was really stretch what I had, whether that was finances or whether that was, you feel a little lonely because all your buddies are in relationships and you're not, or you just, you want to go out and do something and you phone your buddies or some people and everybody's busy, like whatever it is. And you've got to do something with what you got. And it's about being grateful for what is and excited for what's coming, and which I've said before on this channel. So let's get back to the messaging here of if you're in a spot right now in your life, right, whether it's finances and maybe it's in your health and fitness that you wish you were stronger or had more energy, but you are where you are, and again, applying to finances that you maybe aren't exactly where you want to be in the financial end of things, or relationship wise, right? Like whatever that is. And sharing today that when I was in those spots, you really learn to, as they say, stretch the dollar or do more with what you have. We hear stories about people that fed families of like eight or nine people off of very minimal food, right? Because they did more with less. They make it last. And so a lot of people will sit at that in that space and be woe is me, and I'm a victim and the world's out to get me. But I encourage you, again, if you're in one of those spots right now, to flip that. And what a gift that is, that you're learning to do more with less. Because Bashar has a quote. It's a concept, not a quote, but it's when you can do, or when you learn to do more with less, you require less to do much more. So when the tide finally shifts a little bit and the abundance starts flowing into your life, the impact that you're going to have in this world will be so much better and more impactful and widespread and on all of those things. So and so let's throw a couple examples in here of what I'm talking about, right? So we talk about the Pareto principle, actually, and so that's the 80-20 rule, right? And we talk about doing more with less. Think about all your clothes in your closet right now. More than likely, you wear 20% of your clothes 80% of the time. You do more with less. And we think about, in business, and I know some of the businesses that I've had with that have multiple locations, and 80% of the profits come from 20% of the stores. Or flipping that, 80% of the headaches come from 20% of the stores. Yeah, welcome to business, right? But I mean, and it applies to like so many things, right? And so, but the thing is to focus on that 20%, right? That less. How can you be more productive with that? Where is the value coming out of that? And using that, right? And so again, coming back to it, and this video is focused on, whatever those areas are where you think you don't have enough or you're lacking a little bit, is really embracing those moments in that time right now, because it's teaching you to do more with less, and your time's coming. So, we talk about the different things like, decluttering and things. I mean, there's so many benefits to having a clean working space, like of not having stuff all over your desk. You can focus on what you're doing, or in your house, right? And so, just getting rid of some of the things that you don't need anymore. That could be clothes. They've talked about the tip that they have is put all your hangers in your closet, hang them up backwards. And then after a year or whatever, you set the amount of time, maybe 2 years if you're really attached to some things. But after 2 years, when you wear something, you take it out of the closet, wear it, wash it, put it back in the closet, but you put the hanger the way you normally put them. So after that period of time, you actually look, and whatever hasn't turned around, if you haven't worn it in 2 years, chances are you're probably not going to wear it very much. So about and again, we've previous videos that I talked about is being able to let go, and that you can't you've got to make room for things to flow into your life, new things to flow in, and if you're not letting go of the old, there's no room for the new to flow in. So just the concept of how doing more with less kicks in on that, as well. I mean, it works with time, right? Think about how we always talk about being more productive with our time and adding more value to it, from an output perspective as well as from a value perspective. We want to maximize the fun that we have when we go on vacation, or even, in the moments that we share with people we care about. We want to maximize the enjoyment out of those times. It's about, and even if you're in somewhere where you don't have as much time with someone as you want, whether it's family members or friends, like, or your significant other, things like that. It's about really dialing in and getting that maximum value out of that. So that comes down with, different concepts about setting boundaries of when I'm with this person, I'm not going to be on my phone all the time, or I'm not going to take work calls. Or, I remember when my kids were young, and again, I'm growing just like you are, right? And I remember there was a time where I'm sitting there and I was down on the floor playing model cars, like just the little cars on a little mat that we had that had roads on it and stuff, and playing. And then I remember taking work calls and getting texts and stuff. So trying to do that, but still trying to, hey, I'm playing with, my son. And then all of a sudden my son stops and goes, "Do you want me to let you do your work? Is it too much to, like, you want me to let you do your work while I'm doing this? Am I making too much noise?" And it really sat with me there with what I learned in that point is about presence, right? And not trying to, maximize them, again, doing absolutely everything in that set of time, because I really valued the time that I was spending with my son in there. So, and from then on, really being present with what I'm doing, not being dialed in, or not being on my phone all the time, or focused on something else, and really enjoying that. So it's about getting more value out of the time that we have. And I mean, trust me, as a parent, blink and your kids are 20 years old all of a sudden, right? So there's different things that we can do. A couple of tips just to throw in. I mean, it's going to be, I want to keep it tight today, just kind of speaking from the heart is where I'm going with this. And based on a couple of conversations and coaching calls that I had this week, and it really hit home, right? Is to that little reminder. So, we can leverage technology with things, for organizing things, or setting alarms for I'm going to, invest this much time with this today, and setting those alarms and sticking with it. Or, apps that help you streamline tasks or do stuff for you, or amalgamate different things together. And so there's lots of, technology that can help out with different things. And then again, managing our, your resources, right? And there's so many resources in life that we need to look after, right? Time, finances, your energy, materials, like all of those different things, right? And where can you maximize your value and do more with less? And it's about, a lot of people will sit back and tell me right off the bat on this, Oh, it's not about, I said, diving into the minimalization and selling everything and all that. And it's a lot easier to be happy with $1 million than it is with this. And, without. And yeah, I get that. But if you can be grateful and find joy and happiness and dial into that's in your heart when, your perception of not having a lot, and you can get in that place, it just exponentially increases your ability to have impact again and share and add value and that joy and happiness that you have when you do have more, and you can obviously accomplish a lot more too. So again, just going back to a couple of those examples, right? That's the big thing, right? Is I know that in those times that things were lean in my life with finances and stuff, the ways that I learned to stretch that dollar, or just different concepts of value and the lessons that I learned myself and that I'm able to pass on to my sons and my daughter and friends, and sharing in coaching clients with different concepts and stuff about that. It's super valuable, right? And it makes you really, that presence of where you're at and the ability to apply that in your world. I mean, again, it's so amazing to be able to look back and be like, man, like I did that on when I was making this much a month, and I remember my first paper route, man. Like I was making, I don't know, like $21 a month or something on papers, and uh, and I remember that I would wait because, like, if I realized there were certain things that I like to get all the time, and because I had less, and there were certain things that went on sale once a month, and so what I would do is I would wait for that day, and then I would go buy whatever it was. I think it was probably candy or something like that at that point in time. But I would wait till that day when the store had the sale, and I would buy it all that day, and then kind of ration it throughout the month instead of going every day and buying a treat or this or that when I was done my paper route. And so, and that concept, what it's taught me in my life now is kind of looking for those opportunities and really being smarter with what you've got and maximizing that value. So yeah, I mean, so that's it's going to be short and sweet today. That's what it's all about. So I want you to take a look in your life and find out where in your life can you minimalize a little bit, right? And kind of drop a few things out, and not only applying, when we're in those lean or a little bit of scarce times, when there's not as much as we think that we need or want, but where now can you drop some things out, or where can you apply this concept? When you do more with less, you need less to do more. So whether that's time, where can you be more productive with your time? Where can you be, maybe more impactful with your generosity, right? Whether it's donations, and it doesn't have to be money as well, it can be with your time that you donate or that you give to people. So there's a lot of opportunities there. But again, coming back to it, simple concept, and I want you to apply in your world, that in those lean times, don't look at it as a tormenting period of your life, when it's actually teaching you so many things that are valuable to move forward and be even more successful when that abundance starts to flow, and that you do have more of whatever it is that you think that you don't have a lot of right now. So thank you for joining today. And if you'd like, you can carry on the conversation with me, or you can reach out if you'd like support with anything. You can find me. My website's kerrykish.com. I'll pin it in the notes below. I have a number of different programs: Man to Men, the Single Dads, the Thriving Single Fathers, Thriving Single Mothers. There's different programs there. The Coaching Collective is once a month. All of that information is on my social media as well as my website. All my social media is at Kerry Kish Coaching. So definitely reach out. I have one-on-one spots that I can serve and support you with. So if you found value in this, save it, like the video. You can subscribe to the channel. I put out a new video every week, and share with a friend or someone that you know that this might strike a chord with, as they say, and because obviously with everything, with how the universe works, this video popped up in your feed for a reason, and you're still watching for a reason. So share it with that. And if you enjoyed this, you can or watch one of the other videos that's coming up on the screen right now. they're about mindset, motivation, and manifesting as well. So again, I am grateful for every moment we share together, and I put out a new video every week. So hopefully we'll see you back next week. And until then, as always, send in peace, love, and positive vibes your way.